Hello everybody and welcome back to Chronically Fabulous. So today's video I'm not sure if I'm gonna be making it a teenage disability and mental health slash depression thing or just like a general life update type of thing. But the gist of it is that I will be talking about mainly why I've been gone for like 2 months. So, in my last update video, I finally told you guys that Anthony and I had broken up. And as of now, that was like 6 months ago almost. Excuse my hair. I've been trying to grow out the sides, and I'm now like a month or two into growth, and like it's like an inch long now, and it's just like it's getting to the phase where if you sleep wrong, it creates like little devil horns. I'm also really sorry if like the camera's super shaky. I had to improvise my like filming situation. But I don't know. As you can probably tell, I'm not in the same room that I'm usually in. I'm not in the apartment right now. The last month's been rough, man. Actually, it's not really been the last month. It's been like, okay, a little bit of my history in terms of like my mental health. I've struggled with anxiety for pretty much as long as I've been alive. I have been through a lot of things in a lot of different areas in my life that are not just my disability. I went through some very, very severe bullying, and sorry, I didn't think I was going to be getting emotional in this video. I just wanted to like let you guys know what was going on. Okay, keep it together, Emily. It's all good. So I went through some very severe bullying in grade school and middle school. I had the fucking nickname Freak Show in middle school, and by the time I was there, I was kind of okay with it because I was just like, okay, well, all of you guys are pretty much the exact same person. So if me being a freak show means that I'm my own person, that doesn't seem like that bad of a thing to me. But I went through a lot of bullying and things like that. There's a lot of different family issues with my dad, and the stuff that's happened with my dad I don't really want to be like disclosing on YouTube just because like it's a very personal thing. It's been affecting me like more than half of my life now, and just the gist of it is my dad has been in and out of my life my whole life pretty much for a variety of different reasons, between like drug use and crime stuff. Like there's a lot of things that have been a factor in why he's been in and out of our lives, ours being my brother and I. Side note, people think it's very weird, and I sometimes think it's very weird that like every once in a while I refer to myself in like plural, but you gotta remember I'm a twin, and for like 18 years now, like 18 and a half years now, is like that's how old I am. I've grown up practically next to someone. Like prenatal, I was next to someone, and I grew up next to someone. And even when I'm alone or like doing something by myself, sometimes I'll be like, oh, we or our, when it's just me, and that's just a side effect of being a twin. But anyways, back to the point. There's been a lot of issues through my life that have caused, well, up until recently, pretty much just general anxiety. That was my biggest issue, was always anxious about everything, couldn't focus on anything. I had and still have and still struggle with sporadic suicidal tendencies and like ideology and things like that. I've sort of attempted suicide a couple of times. I don't know. Like, the first time I attempted suicide, I was 12, and like I took like a kind of shitty dull pocket knife like across my wrist, which does nothing. Everybody knows that. But the intent was still there from a relatively young age, and I've struggled with that for a very long time. But recently I've been developing a very, very serious depression. That's been a huge part of why my content has been so lacking. That's been a huge part of why I have not been active on here, and that's why I've not been making as many videos. A lot of the depression stems from my disability, but like I wanted to cover, there are a lot of other factors. But because of the way that the channel is, because of the way that I've grown my audience, I will keep it mainly towards disabilities and talk about why people with disabilities would tend to be suicidal in some way or other. And the first and probably biggest thing is the fact that I, from a pretty fucking young age, as of right now, I'm 18 and a half. I was diagnosed with ehlers-danlos syndrome 4 years ago now. I think, something like that. But it's only in the past 2 years that it's been, like, really starting to weigh on me that I'm stuck like this. I will be in pain for the rest of my life, and, like, that's, a lot of people are like, oh, you just have to look past that and things like that, but if you've ever had a toothache, or you've ever been sick, and you feel like shit, your whole body is just sore, if you had to live with a toothache and couldn't fix it for every day of your life until the day that you die, or had to feel sore and sick until the day that you die, that's not a way to live, man. That's just, no one wants that. And in terms of, like, the sick comparison, the fatigue comes along with that. I've talked about my chronic fatigue. It's honestly probably a bigger problem for me than the actual chronic pain. I can deal with my shoulders dislocating randomly. I can deal with my hips slipping out. I can deal with not being able to grip things tightly for fear that I'm going to dislocate my fingers. But being exhausted all the time, no matter how much sleep you get, or, like, your diet, or how much water you drink, or how much exercise you get, is heartbreaking. I'm sorry that I'm being so emotional in this video. I didn't mean to be. But yeah, so I've been dealing with a lot recently. And after the breakup, I had been dating Anthony for 2.5 years. We were living together. We lived together for almost a year. And when we broke up, I pretty much lost my around-the-clock support, because, like, from 6 months of dating, we were pretty much living together because of other stuff that was happening in Anthony's life. We needed to get him out of a certain situation, and we brought him down to Toronto and ended up, like, living across the street from each other and then living together, basically, when I was, like, 16, which is super early, but I like to think I'm decently mature, but that's not the point of this video. But when we broke up, I lost, like, I'm still in contact with Anthony. Anthony and I are still very, very good friends. Like, I talk to him all the time, we hang out all the time still. Like, I'm civil when I break up with people. But when we broke up, I could not, or I felt like I couldn't reach out to him for help, and I couldn't handle my, like, sporadic suicidal tendencies, and it was getting really, really rough, on top of the fact that I was, at that point, living alone at the apartment. And it's nice to have an apartment, it's cool to have an apartment, we had an amazing view, I had Pig, who is my rat, who I haven't introduced you guys to yet. I have a pet rat now, I'll show you in another video. But, it gets very lonely, and when you are sitting in an apartment just stewing in your own thoughts, it's just not fun. And then I got into a relationship that was not exactly the healthiest relationship. It wasn't a bad relationship. It was not a bad relationship, but it definitely could have had a healthier dynamic. And just, like, it wasn't the same amount of support. I was having a lot of struggles. My dad's coming back into my life again really soon, like, very soon. And I just had no idea how to deal with everything that was going on, and I was, like, losing control of it, and my body has been hurting so much, because in the summertime, heat does help relieve, like, muscle pain. It can make some things relax a little bit, But with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, with my muscles relaxing, it's making my shoulders, my hips weaker, everything is slipping out way more frequently. And it just sucks, man. And like, I've been really, really battling my own head and my own, like, desire for death, for lack of a better way of putting it, for like a month now. Just continuously being in like this rut of like perpetual sadness, and I'm not used to that. Like I said, I only ever had like generalized anxiety. I was always nervous about things. I was always like worried about things, but I was never like baseline sad. And it's just been very hard to adjust to that as like a new normal. But one of the biggest things that I wanted to talk about is like, because I've been dealing with suicidal stuff for a very long time, and a lot of it stems from my disability, is the fact that when you have a chronic illness and when you know that it's not going to get better, there's always that thought in your mind where it's just like, I'm gonna die anyways. Why would I bother putting myself through that amount of pain any longer than I need to? And like, I'm going to college in September. I'm starting in my public relations course. I don't think I did my update video for like my college program changing, but I changed my program to go into public relations. I want to keep doing my public speaking. I was just reached out to by a university professor in Alberta who wants to use one of my videos from this channel in one of his master classes to help understand like daily documentation of disabilities, or at least like personalized stuff. He wanted to like part of the class is like memoirs, memoirs, autobiographies, and in my case, vlogs. But just the one thing that I've been fucking fighting with everybody about is that just because there are good things happening in your life does not outweigh the bad things. And it feels like some people don't understand that. And like, I know it goes both ways where it's like the bad things don't outweigh the good things. But when there is a constant bad, which is chronic pain in my case, when there is just that looming cloud of pain all the time, and that looming cloud of exhaustion all the time, it ruins all the good moments. I could have an amazing day and go out and do a whole bunch of things and spend time with people and actually socialize and get out of the house for once. And when I come home, I feel like I'm dying because I'm in so much pain. And like, it becomes this struggle of balancing having those life experiences and knowing that you're going to be in pain because you had those life experiences. I want to parachute, I want to bungee jump, I want to travel the fucking world, but a lot of that is going to have to take into account of, okay, but your body, be mindful. And it's just, it sucks, man. Like, and I've become, another part of like my depression recently has been like an existential depression where it's just like, why do I exist, man? And like, I'm not religious. I don't believe that a God made me, mainly because if a God made me, I'd be fucking pissed, because I'd be like, why did you do this? Why did you put me in a body that's constantly fighting me? Why did you make my brother hate his body? Why did you make my dad the way he is? Why did you make my mom need to struggle through all of this? Like, I don't believe in that, because I don't want to believe that we were put into this situation by a higher being's choice. I want to believe that it was a fluke. I want to believe that I just got unlucky. I want to believe that the genetic lottery just kind of fucked me over, because scientifically that makes more sense to me, and it is much easier for me to reason that I am a medical genetic fuck up, and that's far more okay to me than, oh well, God made you this way and God's gonna make you suffer for the rest of your life and you're gonna be a better person because of your suffering. I like to think I'm a decent person and would be a decent person without suffering. Thank you very much. But I understand where people want to believe in God. I understand where people want that justification of someone made me like this for a purpose. But I that justification doesn't work in my brain, and I have tried, man. Like, the guy that I was with was, like, somewhat religious, and for a while was kind of, like, trying to help me see it from that perspective of, like, you're made this way, like, it's not your fault or anything like that, you just are this way and you have to go with it. But it sucks, man, and, like, I have been having pretty much an ongoing existential crisis for, like, 3 weeks now, where I'm just constantly like, why is the world the way that it is? Why is everything so shitty? Why is it that good people are so quiet and bad people are so loud? I understand that bad people are the minority, but they are the vocal minority, and they are the ones that you see the most of. And that breaks my heart, because, like, I want to go into public speaking. I want to spread good in the world. But if it's all going to be overshadowed by bad, like, I'm just scared that I'm going to get lost in that. And I don't want to believe that people are bad. I wholeheartedly believe people are good by default. But every day I get proven wrong. Every day. And, like, I understand people are who they choose to be. There's no I am who I am bullshit. There's no I was born this way and I'm gonna be this way for the rest of my life type of shit, unless it's like a physical thing. In terms of personality, in terms of belief, in terms of how you see other people, that can all change. And if you say I am who I am, that's just because you're too stubborn to change, or you see a problem with your ideology, but you don't care enough to fix it. And just having stuff like that around me recently has been a huge eye-opener as to, like, why the world is the way that it is. And it's because of selfishness. And it's because of fear, and it's because people want a reason for why the world is bad. And unfortunately, that 99% of the time manifests in a scapegoat. Be it Hitler going after Jewish people, or Trump going after Muslims, or anything along those lines. It, at the end of the day, is an unjustified attack on one group of people because you want a reason for people being horrible. And it's scary. Yeah, I'm sorry I got so emotional in this video. This is gonna be a good video, though. That was a lot of thoughts, man. But I don't know, man. So I'm sorry that I haven't been here. I'm really sorry that my content has been lacking. I'm sorry that I haven't been updating, but I really needed to just lay in my bed for days on end and just let my brain recover from what's been going on, because, like, there's a lot. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this video unedited. I'm gonna leave it in its full rambly glory, because I don't, this is like the rawest form you will ever see me in, is upset, and I don't want to lose that. I want people to see what mental illness looks like in comparison to my other videos. But yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna try and start uploading again regularly. I really am. But for now, I'm Emily from Chronically Fabulous, and I will see you guys soon.